Are you doing too much in your auditions? Too little? How do you know? For this video, I'm going to dig up an old audition for The Walking Dead, which I booked, and use it as an example to explore this concept. And I'll start with a brilliant quote that is mostly attributed to Katharine Hepburn that really sets the stage for this discussion. And it might just help you reframe your own approach to this craft of acting. Hey everyone, I'm Matthew Cornwell with Get Taped here in Atlanta, Georgia, one of Atlanta's original audition taping services, which I co-own with my amazingly talented, beautiful wife and best friend, Brooke. Never gets old. Once again, if you like our videos and want more content from us, then consider subscribing to our weekly newsletter, The Scuttlebutt, which drops every Monday morning and has information that is mostly tailored to the southeastern United States, but there is stuff that is more broadly applicable to the entire industry. All right, now on to our topic, and I want to start with that Katharine Hepburn quote that I teased. If you give an audience a chance, they will do half your acting for you. I'm just going to let that quote sit up there for a second as you take it in. If you give an audience a chance, they will do half your acting for you. Boom. I mean, that's the video right there. You could stop watching if that quote already resonates with you. But assuming that you're curious, let's unpack that quote. And I want to start with that part of the phrase, if you give the audience a chance. What does she mean by that? Well, it's quite simple. If you try to spoon feed everything to your audience, it's going to backfire. We sit in darkened theaters, we go see plays, we turn on the telly, as they say across the pond, because we want to be invited into a story. We, as audience members, want to participate in the story. Heck, it's one of the reasons that in the 80s, there was this very popular set of books called Choose Your Own Adventure. We want to participate. Think about walking down a sidewalk, passing a restaurant, and the cook is standing outside, and instead of just giving you a sample, they're giving you the entire meal. They're forcing it upon you. Great, but then you have no need to walk into the restaurant. It's actually maybe a little off-putting. They're not drawing you into the experience. They're just giving you a free meal. Maybe this metaphor doesn't work so well. My point is that as humans, we love the challenge of deciding for ourselves what your subtext is, what your character's thought life is, what they're capable of, what they might do next. So let's take my audition for the character Evans in The Walking Dead, which I've done a video on this topic before. And I want to unpack this idea of if you give an audience a chance. I mean, it sounds pretty cool, right? To let the audience do half your acting for you. That's less work for me. But before I play the audition, here's a little background. Evans is an interrogator, but that's pretty much it. I wasn't given much to go on. The Walking Dead was notorious for keeping their scripts private, the storylines secret, even though you had to sign an NDA. So I just didn't have much to go on. I only had a few lines of dialogue, which, spoiler alert, were not even my character's lines. It wasn't a fake script. It just wasn't my dialogue. Turns out my character didn't have any dialogue, which I found out later, but they gave me lines to say for the audition. And here's the actual breakdown for my character. Humorless, unnerving, professional, and dispassionate. Quietly scary in how serious he is. A police investigator in a suit. Not much, right? So as I start to play this audition, the first 20 or so seconds, notice I'm not talking. I don't even start the dialogue until I think 26 seconds into the audition, which might seem risky on paper, but not so much for this type of character based on that breakdown, right? Still not talking. But I'm not doing anything, right? Isn't that the risk here of an audition like this? If I sit there silently for 20 plus seconds, that doesn't seem like I'm doing anything. And actors want to do something. We want to book the role. We want to show you our entire resume. We want to show you all those years of training. We want to do something. And I'm not doing anything as Evans. And yet, knowing the circumstances, that I'm here to interrogate, that I'm higher status, that I'm in control, I want you to start asking yourself, what is Evans thinking? What is one thought that you think Evans has? What is one emotion that you're getting from me? What is the tone that you feel I'm setting, even just watching this silent opening? In fact, if you want to, you can drop a comment below with your answer. And here's the punchline. No matter what your answer, you're right. That's the beauty of giving the audience a chance. You're inviting them into the story. You're demanding their participation. And as a side note, all I did on set was quietly intimidate as I endlessly wrote notes, which I kept somewhere. But here's the moral to the story of this video. As you reflect on your own auditioning, on your own craft, are you giving the audience a chance to do half of your acting? Because if you're self-taping at home with maybe a Zoom reader or a non-actor spouse or roommate, or an actor, but they also audition for the same roles as you, in all of those scenarios, you're setting up a pretty isolating environment for yourself. Left unchecked, this could lead you to show the audience, i.e. the casting director, way too much. Because without a trusted reader, coach, or teacher to give you feedback during the audition, then the lack of feedback that we all experience from casting will make an actor do crazy things. Trust me, running get taped, we see it all the time. Actors doing too much because they have this overwhelming desire to show the casting director all of their prep, all of their training, all of their ideas. But it dawns on me that it's a subtle trap, because you might be thinking, hey, Matt, where's the sweet spot? How do I know that I'm not doing too little? What is that sort of Goldilocks perfect balance of the perfect read? Great question, and one that I can't faithfully answer in a free YouTube video. Just don't have time. So I invite you to participate in finding the answer for yourself. But I will give you some suggestions. First and foremost, you can certainly get lost right here on this channel. We now have over 200 videos to explore on so many different topics on the craft of acting and the business of show business. Next, get in a class, please, with a respected teacher. And that teacher should either be someone who is a current working actor, or if they're not, then they need to be highly respected and highly recommended by fellow actors and other industry professionals. Another idea is to take workshops, but refer to my previous note on classes when it comes to the teachers of those workshops. They need to understand not just the industry, but the craft of acting itself. Hey, maybe hire a coach for one-on-one sessions. More expensive, yes, but you're going to pack a lot more wisdom, a lot more personalization into those sessions, which might yield faster results. What you're after, though, in the end, as it relates to the topic of this video, is an increased self-awareness. You need to learn what it is you convey in those silent moments. Now, I'm not recommending you do 20 plus seconds of silence at the beginning of your auditions, but what is happening between the moments in those silent beats when the other character is talking and you're listening? Can you say with certainty, with specificity, what it is that casting is receiving from you in that silence? Do you know? What story is the audience, that casting director or anyone else who might be watching, what are they telling themselves about you? How are they being invited into the story through your actions, through your inactions, through your emotions, through your silence, etc.? Once you do the hard work, and it is hard work to figure out the specificity of what it is you're putting out into the world and how casting is receiving that, or any audience for that matter, you'll start to develop an intuition on when it's too much for a small supporting character like Evans in The Walking Dead, and conversely, when it's too little for a bigger role, like maybe a top-of-show recurring guest star or a series regular. But this really does start to open Pandora's box, so I'm going to press pause on this discussion for now. If this has left any lingering questions, please drop a comment below. That's it for now. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on set.